New York prosecutors are urging a federal judge to reject the latest bail request from Sean Diddy Combs. They say the music mogul is trying to influence witnesses ahead of his upcoming sex trafficking trial.
But yo, listen, do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. All the boxes. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked.
In a court filing overnight, prosecutors said Combs, in recorded jail calls, asked family members to reach out to potential witnesses, including some of the alleged victims. They argue it can be inferred from his behavior that Combs is trying to blackmail witnesses into silence.
Prosecutors claim Sean Diddy Combs is blackmailing witnesses from his prison cell. They allege he urged family members to contact potential witnesses, create narratives, and manipulate social media to sway the jury. For someone used to luxury, the transition to this hellish environment is a brutal wake-up call.
Diddy Combs has been denied bail in connection with the sexual abuse and sex trafficking charges he faces. And as Les Trent reports, the music mogul who once traveled by private jet to all those mansions is now in a jail that is notorious for its bad living conditions.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs spent his first night behind bars inside a facility that is being called Hell on Earth. The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn is notorious for its appalling living conditions and rampant violence.
He had a heartfelt conversation with his son. The once untouchable music mogul, Sean Diddy Combs, has now found himself behind bars. From private jets and lavish mansions to a nightmarish prison where life is anything but glamorous. This is Diddy's shocking fall from grace.
Have your bed with a 1.5-inch mattress, no pillow, and you also have a locker. So you basically have 3 feet by 5 feet to move around. So you have a basic 15 square feet. It is a horrible, horrible place.
Diddy's lawyers were so eager to keep him out of jail, they offered his palatial $48 million home in Miami Beach and his private jets as bail. Today, they are even offering to restrict female visitors to his homes, except for his mother.
Imagine being confined to a cramped 15-square-foot space with nothing more than a flimsy mattress, a plastic chair, and a small locker. It's a far cry from the lavish lifestyle Diddy once enjoyed.
How bad is it inside this federal lockup? There have been 2 murders, 4 suicides, and numerous stabbings and lockdowns in recent years. It's so out of control inside that 4 federal judges are reportedly refusing to send any more prisoners here. Donald Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen, spent a harrowing year in federal custody. He says for someone used to a life of luxury like Diddy, prison life is a severe shock.
You have a desk, you have a plastic chair.
After his arrest, Diddy was denied bail and sent to the infamous Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, known for its grueling conditions. This facility, often referred to as Hell on Earth, has earned a terrifying reputation, with violent incidents like stabbings, suicides, and even passaways occurring within its walls. Diddy's new life behind bars is nothing short of a nightmare.
I knew I should wait outside of Turkish baths for him. You know what they do in the Turkish baths?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay. That's where a lot of gay men meet. And they all take hot baths together.
Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, made controversial claims, stating that Sean Diddy Combs visited Turkish baths 3 times a week, allegedly frequented by gay men. Deal's remarks have sparked significant attention, fueling ongoing rumors and discussions surrounding Diddy's personal life.
There's really no deal that the U.S. Attorney's Office can offer, and it's certainly not one that Diddy will accept. It would involve decades in federal prison. We're talking about mandatory minimum sentences of 10 years for both the drug charges and the sex trafficking. So we know that Diddy has fought charges before. There were state charges, there were gun-related, the nightclub shooting with J-Lo, but he's going to dig in his heels, and this case is going to trial. So if you're prosecutors, you really want to make sure that your evidence is bulletproof, before you go down that route.
Sean Diddy Combs faces serious legal trouble after being indicted on federal trafficking and racketeering charges. Legal expert Niyama Ramani, a former federal prosecutor, warns that the mogul could face years in prison if convicted on both charges. The case has drawn significant attention, adding to the ongoing legal battles surrounding high-profile figures in the entertainment industry.
Based on the facts of this case, and I'll leave it at that.
Are some of the prosecutors on this case some of the same prosecutors that had been handling that or that worked on the Maxwell case?
So I'm not going to get into the staffing. I will say that this team, this group of AUSAs, this incredible group has been working on this case around the clock, and they've had their hands full. Next question.
Gus Rosendale, NBC News.
In the latest development, authorities have revealed that Sean Combs' involvement in a racketeering conspiracy is far from just business as usual. The indictment alleges that Combs used his empire to carry out a range of criminal activities, including trafficking and obstructing justice. Among the most alarming accusations is his alleged use of force, coercion, and even blackmail to silence witnesses and victims who threatened to expose his actions.
Good morning, sir. Combs' attorney said that his client has been cooperative with investigators. He said that this morning. I was wondering if you would have a reaction to that.
Let me just say this. I think that generally and with increasing frequency, the word cooperative or cooperating has taken on tremendous elasticity, and it no longer really bears any relation to what the word means when we use it in a very specific context.
As the trial progresses, it's becoming clear that Combs didn't just rely on his status or wealth. He used fear and intimidation to maintain control. The indictment outlines multiple instances where Combs allegedly threatened victims with violence, including carrying firearms and using those threats as leverage to manipulate and blackmail those around him.
So, responding to lawful process and the like does not qualify as cooperation when we use that term here.
Mike Sisak, AP.
Thanks. To that end, was there any discussion of Mr. Combs surrendering? I understand he was taken into custody at a hotel in Manhattan last night, and maybe that wasn't the plan. Can you elaborate on how that came about and why that was?
I'm not going to be able to get into any sort of operational.
Even more disturbing is the report that, after the public allegations surfaced in late 2023, Combs attempted to silence witnesses through phone calls and direct interference. Witnesses were reportedly pressured to change their stories or remain silent, reinforcing the extent of the blackmail effort that law enforcement is now investigating.
There are going to be some motions in this case. One of those was addressed today. Now, if the judge does not need them back in court, the next time we will see Combs back in court will be in December. Brianna?
And this comes after his legal team made some pretty stunning accusations, Kara, about that now infamous video of Combs beating his former girlfriend as she tried to leave a hotel room. What exactly are they saying?
Yeah, that was one of the issues that was teed up yesterday.
It became clear that today's session focused largely on procedural matters. Prosecutors revealed they had seized a significant amount of evidence from Diddy's properties back in March. They mentioned the collection of 96 devices and the meticulous process of sorting through and securing this material. However, it appears that some of these devices are already being altered, as reports suggest Diddy may have attempted to encrypt certain files before they were returned to his defense team.
For this hearing today, and that's what they spent a lot of time on in the courtroom. Combs' attorneys had asked for an investigation into leaks, saying that they believe the government alerted the press not only of the video, but also of the searches at his homes in March. But this video is something that prosecution said that there's no need for this. They have said that they did not obtain this video until after CNN has aired it. Obviously, we're CNN. We have declined to comment on these allegations.
The courtroom drama intensified when Diddy's legal team brought up serious accusations, regarding a leaked video showing him allegedly mistreatmenting his former girlfriend. His attorneys suggested that the government may have tipped off the media about the footage, as well as details regarding the March searches. While prosecutors denied these claims, saying they didn't receive the video until after it aired publicly, the controversy surrounding the leak continues to raise eyebrows.
But the prosecution said that they did not have this until after it was already made public by us and that there's no need for an investigation. Said this is just an attempt to try to keep a damning piece of evidence out of this case. Now, the judge said he is not going to decide today on whether they should have a hearing. He's going to let the sides file their legal briefs and their legal arguments on this. But one thing that Combs' lawyers did ask for is what they called a gag order. They want the prosecution to be stopped from talking about any grand jury evidence in this case or any non-public evidence.
Further complicating matters, Diddy's lawyers pushed for a gag order, seeking restrictions on both the prosecution and defense when it comes to discussing non-public evidence before the trial. They argued that certain statements made in the media were harmful to their client's case, including an interview in which Diddy's lawyer suggested a racially motivated takedown. The judge, while not issuing a ruling today, asked for further legal briefs to be filed on the matter.
Criminal indictment lays out the allegations, only names Combs as the defendant, although that could potentially change down the line. We may see more defendants. But since Combs has officially been charged and he's locked up behind bars, there have been a lot of videos that have been surfacing, particularly online. And one of those videos is the interrogation of a man named Jonathan Oddie. Now, this is a strange one, maybe some would say an odd one. See what I did right there? So I want you to stay with me. So we go back to 2018.
The indictment against Diddy involves serious allegations, including trafficking and racketeering. According to the charges, he allegedly used force and coercion to control individuals involved in what's been described as freak-offs, group sessions that lasted for days. While Diddy's legal team works to mount a defense, the reality of his shackled appearance suggests that the evidence against him is mounting.
And Jonathan Oddie allegedly went into the Trump National Doral Miami Hotel and Resort in the middle of the night and ostensibly went on a rampage. The state attorney's office says that Oddie fired shots in the lobby and toward the chandelier, then draped a giant American flag across the front desk. There was a shootout when Miami police got to the scene, and Oddie was shot in the leg and tried to hide, but he was taken into custody. Faces multiple charges: attempted murder, armed burglary, grand theft. Now you might be saying, well, why are you talking about him?
It wasn't just the shackles that grabbed attention. Video footage from the scene shows the moment Diddy was taken into custody at his hotel. Initially, many wondered if he'd voluntarily surrendered. However, it quickly became apparent that this wasn't an ordinary arrest. Law enforcement agencies had been gathering evidence for months, and they were ready to strike when the moment came.
What is his connection to Sean Combs? Well, once Oddie was released from the hospital, he did an interview with police where he repeatedly asked to speak with the FBI, the CIA, Secret Service, the media. And during that conversation, he brings up, of all people, Sean Combs. Now, here's the thing. You might say, Jesse, what are you about to talk about? Does this guy sound crazy? I'll leave that to you. But what he ends up saying back in 2018?
Despite his status and power, the reality of the situation is undeniable. Diddy is facing serious charges in what could be a long and drawn-out trial. The Southern District of New York has a reputation for its meticulous and airtight cases, and it's clear they've been preparing for this moment for some time. With Diddy now behind bars, the court proceedings are just beginning, and the world. Stay tuned for more.